So, how do you teach an AI a really complex skill? I mean, not by writing a giant rule book, but by letting it figure out its own strategy from scratch. That's one of the most powerful ideas in artificial intelligence, and today we're going to break down exactly how it works. Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty cool example: teaching a robot dog to walk. We're not talking about a video game with a couple of buttons here. Walking involves countless, subtle, continuous movements. All these joints and muscles have to be coordinated perfectly, in real time.
See, the real problem here is that the AI can't just memorize the value of every single combination of leg positions. I mean, there are practically infinite options. That'd be like trying to memorize the entire dictionary in one sitting. So instead of a massive list of answers, what it really needs is a general strategy, or what AI researchers call a policy, for how to walk.
To really get how an AI develops a strategy like this, it helps to know that there are two main philosophies for how it can learn. A great way to think about it is the difference between a chess computer and a human grandmaster. So on one hand, you've got value-based learning. This is your classic chess engine, right? It meticulously calculates a score or a value for every possible move it could make. But then, on the flip side, you have policy-based learning. This is so much more like a human grandmaster who plays based on intuition, on a deep, learned strategy. They're not number crunching every single outcome. They're directly choosing the move that their internal policy tells them feels right.
But wait a minute. If the AI isn't calculating the value of every single action, how on earth does it figure out a good strategy from scratch? Well, this is where a really clever technique called policy gradients comes into play.
The really crucial idea here is that we can use a little bit of math, specifically calculus, to find the direction of the greatest improvement. You can think of it like this. The math tells us exactly which knob to turn on the AI strategy and in which direction to get a slightly better result. That direction is called the gradient, and these policy gradient methods are all about following that direction, one small adjustment at a time.
You know, a great way to think about this is to imagine you're on a hill. It's pitch black and you're trying to get to the very top. You take a tiny step in some direction. If you feel the ground rising under your feet, you know you're headed the right way. That feeling of, oh, the ground is going up here, that's the gradient. It's like this little whisper in your ear telling you, hey, this way is up. Every time our robot dog tries a slightly different gait and manages to walk a little faster, it's taken a step uphill, and it learns to keep moving in that direction.
Now, feeling your way up a hill in the dark, that can be pretty slow, right? So a much smarter, more effective way to learn is with this awesome setup called the actor-critic method. You can think of it as a learning partnership that's built right into the AI.
What's so cool about this approach is how it formalizes this partnership. It splits the whole learning process into two very distinct jobs, one part that actually acts and another part that evaluates those actions.
Okay, so here's the breakdown. First up, you've got the actor. The actor is the policy. Its job is just to do stuff out in the world, to try things. And then, watching everything the actor does is the critic. The critic's job is purely to evaluate the actor's performance. It gives feedback, basically saying, hey, that move was good, do more of that. Or, nope, that was a bad move, don't do that again. As AI researcher David Silver put it perfectly, the critic is a pure observer. It's the coach on the sidelines, right? It's not playing the game, but it's providing that crucial feedback that allows the actor to refine its strategy over and over, getting just a little bit better with every single attempt.
But there's a catch with this simple setup. The critic's feedback can be super noisy. Just knowing if an action was good or bad in absolute terms, well, that's often not enough to learn efficiently.
Think about it like this. Getting a score of 1,000 in a game sounds amazing, right? But what if your average score is already 999? Then that action only gave you a tiny 1-point improvement. This high variance, this noise in the rewards can really confuse the actor, making it incredibly hard to figure out which specific actions led to truly better outcomes. So, to fix this, we bring in a brilliant idea called the advantage function. Instead of just looking at the raw score, it asks a much smarter question. How much better or worse was that action compared to what we thought was going to happen anyway? And this simple change is a total game changer. The feedback goes from just, yeah, that was good, to, whoa, that was way better than I expected. It becomes relative. It's no longer just good or bad, it's better than usual or worse than usual. And that one little shift, it cuts through all the noise and lets the actor focus on the actions that truly make a difference, which speeds up learning dramatically.
So when you put all these pieces together, you've got the policy, the gradient, the actor-critic team, and the advantage function, what you end up with is this incredibly powerful framework. And this approach has become an absolute cornerstone of modern AI, unlocking some really incredible capabilities.
For one, policy gradients are absolutely essential for things like robotics. Why? Because a robot arm doesn't have just a few moves, it has a continuous, infinite range of motion. They also let an AI learn a random or stochastic policy. This is crucial for games like rock, paper, scissors. If you're predictable, you lose. The whole learning process is also way more stable since the policy is just nudged along bit by bit. And maybe best of all, this method avoids getting paralyzed trying to calculate the single best action out of trillions of possibilities.
And this whole field is still moving, it's still evolving. While being random is great for exploring and learning, some of the more advanced methods now learn what's called a deterministic policy, basically a single, best action for any given situation. By cutting out the randomness, once a good strategy is locked in, these AIs can get even more efficient at solving really complex problems.
And all this leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As we push AI to tackle these really messy, complex, real-world problems, things like self-driving cars or managing our power grids, is this idea of learning a direct strategy, developing a kind of AI intuition, going to be the main way they learn to think? It's a huge question, and researchers are figuring it out, one tiny step up that gradient at a time.